In the special provision in the 2025 GAA, it states that CHED and bank is authorized to use the HEDF to fund qualified new tertiary education subsidy or TEST grantees who cannot be covered by the current year's appropriation for TEST. Meaning, kung meron pong kulang ang regular budget mo for TEST grantees, you can tap the HEDF fund for scholars.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Kung ganon, bakit po hirap na hirap kami to endorse new TEST or tertiary education subsidy grantees sa CHED, given na meron po kayong 11.7 billion as of May 2025, most especially for this purpose. Madam Sponsor, nilagay po yung special provision na yon para po magamit natin for grantees, for scholarships. May we have a copy of the executive order? Anyway, I would like to put on record na ang sinusundan po ng CHED ay executive order at hindi yung Republic Act. And this is a clear violation of the law.
We will comply with the copy of the executive order, Madam Speaker.
I move that we recognize the Honorable Robert Nazal to interpolate on the proposed budget of the Commission on Higher Education. He's from the party list BH party
The
list.
Honorable Norbert Nazal is hereby recognized.
Good evening, Madam Speaker, Madam Sponsor. First of all, thank you for issuing the guidelines on solo parents in higher education. Maraming salamat po sa CHED. Yan po yung dating minanifest natin to sa briefing. And I would like to thank you for the submission of the guidelines. Thank you very much for that.
Yes, Madam Speaker. As mentioned during our committee hearing.
Yes.
Yes. Yes,
But I
Madam
would I would just like to request na ma-amend po yung isang phrase doon, a word. May doon sa guideline yung nakalagay po na doon sa non-formal programs appropriate for solo parents and their children shall instead of may instead of may.
Shall instead of may.
Palitan
Yes,
lang po
Madam
natin
Speaker,
from
we take note of
may
that
to
amendment.
shall. And I would like to ask for the commitment of CHED na papalitan po natin from may
Yes.
to shall.
We take note of the amendment and we will comply.
Thank you. Thank you. The Higher Education Development Fund, Madam Speaker, Madam Sponsor, or HEDF, is the earmarked revenue of CHED. As of May 31, 2025, the running balance is already stands at 11.7 billion. Tama po ba?
Yes, Madam Speaker, that is correct.
Saan po ba dapat gastusin ang fund? And do we have guidelines on how CHED should use it?
Yes. These are to be spent for institutional development, academic program enhancement, research development and extension, scholarship and faculty development, and internalization, tourism education, and education tourism.
Madam Sponsor, may I request for a copy of the guidelines?
Yes, Madam Speaker, we will comply. We will submit.
In the special provision in the 2025 GAA, it states that CHED and bank is authorized to use the HEDF to fund qualified new tertiary education subsidy or TEST grantees who cannot be covered by the current year's appropriation for TEST. Meaning, kung meron pong kulang ang regular budget mo for TEST grantees, you can tap the HEDF fund for scholars.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Kung ganon, bakit po hirap na hirap kami to endorse new TES or tertiary education subsidy grantees sa CHED, given na meron po kayong 11.7 billion as of May 2025, most especially for this purpose?
Yes, according to the Commission, it is an implementation problem.
Sorry, ma'am.
It is an
Madam-
implementation problem, but
Imple-
at the moment, they realize this challenge and are now taking steps to address this.
So, Madam Sponsor, can we expect the CHED, pagka tayo po ay nag-endorse or nag-request for grantees, mas mabilis na po ma-actionan?
Yes. At the moment, what we have actually funded through the BARC will be the listahanan submitted by DSWD and just the continuing scholarship for the TDP.
Hindi naman po tayo humihingi, Madam Sponsor, from the GAA. Humihingi po tayo from the 11.7 na meron na pondo natin ngayon. Ito po yung earmark natin.
Oo nga.
The reason why, Madam Sponsor, nilagay po yung special provision na yon para po magamit natin for grantees, for scholarships.
Yes.
What do you mean?
They will evaluate subject to the guidelines provided. So you can you can recommend, but of course we cannot let go of the fact that this will be all subject to the guidelines and requirements set forth by the Commission.
So we will abide by the special provision. Gagamitin po natin for this purpose.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
May I ask, Madam Sponsor, who manages the fund?
There is an HEDF secretariat.
What I mean is, who manages the fund? Kasi based po dun sa batas, dapat po merong GFI or government financial institution na nagmamanage ng fund.
The fund is lodged with the DBM, Madam Speaker.
Bakit po ganon? Are we following the law considering na ang nakalagay po dun sa batas ay dapat ang nagmamanage po nito is a...
It is covered, Madam Speaker, by an EO, by an executive order, and so the Commission has to abide by this.
Can an executive order supersede the law?
Madam Speaker, initially the HEDF was managed under the Development Bank of the Philippines, DBP, but since 2000, remittances to the HEDF were channeled to the Bureau of Treasury pursuant to Executive Order 338, issued in 1996, which requires all government offices and agencies to immediately transfer all public monies deposited with depository banks and other institutions to the Bureau of Treasury regardless of income source. Hence,
But
the
Madam
yearly...
Sponsor, hindi po yan ang nakaspecify sa batas kung paano dapat gamitin yung fund. And is it legal that an executive order will supersede a Republic Act?
They were directed by the executive to follow this, and so they complied with this directive.
May we have a copy of the executive order? Anyway, I would like to put on record na ang sinusundan po ng CHED ay executive order at hindi yung Republic Act. And this is a clear violation of the law.
We will comply with the copy of the executive order, Madam Speaker.
It has come to my attention, Madam Sponsor, that the PUP campuses have not been paid 1.187 billion for free higher education from 2022 to 2024. Is this correct?
Yes, Madam Speaker.
How about for other SUCs? How much does the CHED still owe them for free higher education? May mga ibang SUCs po ba rito na may utang ang CHED? Pwede po bang itaas niyo yung kamay niyo pag kung may utang sa inyo ang CHED?
Yes, we acknowledge this deficiency, and the CHED has the amount actually is total of over 11 billion when put together, but this is part of actually. Yes. So earlier, our good chair has spoken with our chair of APRO, and actually there is already a solution which will be tapping also the HEDF to be able to lessen the deficiency with the SUCs.
So, how much do we intend to settle?
Yes. Just to clarify, from 2022 to 2025, the budget was directly released to the SUCs, so it is not actually a debt.
Sorry?
It is not a debt on the side of, it is just a deficiency. And this,
Madam
yes,
Sponsor, what is the difference between a debt and a deficiency?
to answer your earlier question, the amount targeted to be paid to the SUCs from the HEDF will vary from anywhere from 6 to 7 billion.
So basically, meron po tayong utang.
Yes, it's not actually a debt, as the Commission says. It's a recognition of the needs of the SUCs.
Anyway, Madam Sponsor, may we request for a comprehensive report detailing these arrears?
Yes, we will comply.
Thank you, Madam Sponsor. In the 2024 GAA, naglagay po tayo ng special provision number 2 that allowed the use of the HEDF to cover funding deficiencies in free higher education. But it was deleted in the 2025 GAA. Why was this so?
Yes, for the 2024 deficiency, it was supposed to be a combination of funding source from HEDF and from the SUCs, from the SUCs. But since they refused or did not agree, did not agree to release. And so, under the leadership of our new chair, 1 billion was released from CHED itself to address the 2024 deficiency.
No, my question, ma'am, Madam Sponsor, was why was the provision deleted in the 2025 GAA?
All right. According to the commission, it was there in 2024, but it was only intended for that specific time, and so it was no longer included really in the 2025.
So, considering po na marami tayong utang sa mga SUC, shouldn't we restore this special provision for the 2026 GAA?
This is what I mentioned earlier, that the APRO will look into a provision which will allow a funding source for this purpose from the HEDF.
Ilagay na lang, why don't we just put back reinstate the special provision?
The committee will evaluate and the committee will propose this. So it will be from the HEDF, one source, or a part of it will source payment to the SUCs, and the second source will be for scholarships as well from the HEDF.
Thank you. Anyway, Madam Sponsor, this is precisely why earmarked funds must never be diverted from the very purpose for which they were created. The Higher Education Development Fund was established to safeguard the future of our students and to guarantee that every Filipino has unhampered access to quality tertiary education. Dahil may 11.7 billion po tayo, dapat walang dahilan na hindi makapag-aral sa kolehiyo ang mga graduate ng high school na gustong ipagpatuloy at makapagtapos ng kanilang pag-aaral na sagot ng ating pamahalaan. I therefore call on the Department of Budget and Management to release the HEDF without delay so that no student is denied the opportunity to pursue tertiary education, to graduate, and to build a brighter future for themselves and for our nation. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Madam Sponsor.
We take note of that. Thank you, the Honorable Nasal.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we recognize the Honorable Elijah R. San Fernando of the party list Kamanggagawa to interpolate on the proposed budget of the Commission on Higher Education.
The Honorable Eli San Fernando is hereby recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, Madam Sponsor. Ang unang mga katanungan ko po ay patungkol sa use of SUC Special Trust Fund. Alam niyo po, may dalawang pinagkukunan ng funding ang mga SUCs. Una, yung subsidyo ng gobyerno through the GAA. At pangalawa, yung sa pamamagitan po ng inaalaw ng Higher Education Modernization Act or RA 8292, which allowed SUCs for additional funding sources by authorizing the SUCs to retain and utilize their internally generated income or IGI. Ang IGI po ay ang income galing sa tuition fees, other school charges like miscellaneous fees, matriculation fees, laboratory fees, auxiliary services. Can you confirm this, Madam Sponsor, Madam Speaker?
Yes, the Honorable San Fernando, may we invite you to direct this question when the SUCs come in po,
Opo.
later on?
Pero may kinalaman din po dito ang CHED. Pero pwede po bang i-confirm ni Madam Sponsor kung ito po ba talaga yung mga sources of financing ng SUCs? Meron dun sa GAA at meron yung mga tinatawag natin na internally generated income or IGI. Tama po ba to, Madam Sponsor, Madam Speaker?
Ang sources. Yes po, we confirm that po.
Okay. Tama po. Now, can the sponsor confirm that the income generated by SUCs are deposited in authorized government depository banks or AGDBs and shall therefore constitute a special trust fund or STF which has a corresponding guidelines and procedures governing SUCs for its use?
Yes, the Honorable San Fernando, we confirm that, and at present, this is also being reviewed by the Commission.
Salamat po. Tama po. Kasi po, ito na po yung pinatutungkulan natin. CHED has issued CHED Memorandum number 20, series of 2011, detailing the guidelines that the STF and SUC income are subject to. On this memo, merong specific budgetary allocations kung saan lang po pwedeng gastusin ng isang SUC ang income generated from tuition fee collections. At sa katunayan po, Madam Sponsor, Madam Speaker, hindi pa nga po ito ang kabuuan ng tuition fee collections. 50% lang po ng actual tuition fees per this memorandum order collected for the current calendar year. Yung mga programa po na pwedeng paglagakan, faculty and staff development, 12.5%, curriculum development, 12.5%, student development, 12.5%, facilities development, 12.5%. Total po niyan, 50%. Aware po ba ang CHED sa provisions ng memo na ito? Madam Sponsor, Madam Speaker?
Yes, the Commission is aware, and it is now being reviewed and for amendment.
Yes po, maraming salamat po, Madam Sponsor, Madam Speaker, na nire-review na po ito. At dapat po talaga na i-review natin itong CHED Memo 20, Series of 2011. Alam niyo po kasi, Madam Sponsor, Madam Speaker, there is little legroom for SUCs to allocate funding equitably to priority programs or expenditures that are much immediate since they are bound to the stipulations of this particular memo. Kita na nga po nila, hindi pa nila magamit para sa pangangailangan nila. Given this restriction, paano po titiyakin ng CHED na yung mga SUCs can adequately fund their priority and immediate programs beyond these prescribed allocations?
Yes, we take note of this, and this is exactly why the CHED is taking the direction towards reviewing and amending everything that is part of this memo.
Thank you, Madam Sponsor, Madam Speaker. That is on record na kailangan talagang i-review itong CHED Memo 20, Series of 2011. Kasi po, Madam Sponsor, Madam Speaker, usapin po ito ng operational flexibility. On a daily basis po, Madam Speaker, Madam Sponsor, much urgent needs may arise that the university or college may need to address. So, mahalaga po na i-review po ito ng ating CHED. Kasi hindi naman po pare-parehas din ang dinadanas na pangangailangan ng mga SUC. It's not a one-size-fits-all scenario, Madam Sponsor, Madam Speaker. Hindi po dapat CHED ang nagdidikta kung saan at kung ilang porsyento lang ang pwedeng gastusin ng mga universidad mula sa kanilang kinikita. Alam niyo po, kalunos-lunos ang sitwasyon ng ating mga state universities and colleges, Madam Sponsor, Madam Speaker. Our SUCs experience this every day, and they must be allowed ample flexibility to better utilize their income and to subsequently respond better to the pressing needs of their institutions. And that is why we welcome po the commitment of our sponsor, Madam Speaker. Now, on the free higher education beneficiaries po, based on the EDCOM 2 Year 1 report, the share of students from the poorest households, the lowest decile, who benefited from the TES fell drastically from 75% in 2018 to 31% in 2022. Also, only 160,032 students from the poorest families received the test in school year 2023 to 2024, or barely 21.4% of the 749,000 total eligible students from four-piece families based on a survey of the Department of Social Welfare and Development, the SWD. This is contrary po, Madam Sponsor, Madam Speaker, sa prioritization prescribed in UWACTE, Section 2, Paragraph C. So, free education for whom po ba ito, Madam Sponsor, Madam Speaker? Bakit hindi po napaprioritize sa mga pinakamahihirap at pinakamalalaki ang pangangailangan sa ating populasyon? Meron po bang kinikilingan ng CHED sa pagpili ng beneficiaries ng test, Madam Speaker, Madam Sponsor?
The Commission, wala naman pong kinikilingan. But at the moment, there are a number of displaced students, scholars, under the TDP. And so this is why we had to accommodate them. And this ate into the number of test beneficiaries. But we now made sure, under the BARC, that the four-piece beneficiaries mentioned, which are part of the listahanan from the DSWD, will be included completely.
Thank you, Madam Sponsor, Madam Speaker. Now, on to my... Unti na lang po ito, Madam Sponsor, Madam Speaker. Ito po,
may
I bring to your attention, this is of national importance about the Polytechnic University of the Philippines. Kasi po, mahigit 90,000, 90,000 ang mga scholar ng bayan across the PUP system ang kinikater ng Politeknikong Universidad ng Pilipinas. And this representation is proud to say that I am a product of SUC, of the Polytechnic University of the Philippines. Now, Madam Speaker, Madam Sponsor, on this particular same subject, last September 11, during the committee budget hearing, CHED confirmed that one of the reasons behind the presidential veto of the National Polytechnic University Bill was PUP's performance, citing its 2016 classification as only SUC Level 2. However, in the case of the Philippine State College of Aeronautics, or PhilSCA, its proposed legislation was favorably endorsed and enacted as Republic Act 12255, declaring it as the National Aviation Academy of the Philippines, despite PhilSCA being classified as SUC Level 1. In effect, PUP at SUC Level 2 was denied elevation, while PhilSCA at SUC Level 1 was elevated with full national recognition. Let me be clear, hindi naman po ito pinagbabangga yung PUP at PhilSCA. When we asked why this was the case, Madam Sponsor, Madam Speaker, CHED explained that the proposed NPU charter would have given PUP a status similar to the UP system in terms of polytechnic programs, while the PhilSCA bill was allegedly just a renaming without institutional autonomy. And may I quote, during that budget hearing, Madam Sponsor, Madam Speaker, open quote, yung National Polytechnic University po kasi, once na ma-convert siya sa National University, magiging status po niya yung kagaya po ng UP system as far as polytechnic courses or programs are concerned. Dito po sa PhilSCA, ito po ay renaming lang po ng school. So wala po itong university status in terms of institutional autonomy. End of quote. Can the CHED, Madam Sponsor, reply on this, Madam Speaker?
Yes. As to the Commission, the PhilSCA just requested for regular autonomy and was just renamed. But as for PUP, it is a request of PUP to have institutional autonomy like UP, but only requested for minimum standards.
Madam Sponsor, Madam Speaker, to our CHED family, your explanation will not hold because RA 12255 itself goes far beyond the mere renaming. Section 2 expressly declares, to this end, quote, to this end, the National Aviation Academy of the Philippines, the leading higher education institution for aviation studies, is hereby declared the National Professional Institution for Aviation. Section 4E mandates the NAAP shall serve as the premier academic institution in aviation and related fields of specialization by offering undergraduate, graduate, and professional degree programs, promoting collaboration with various colleges, universities in the country, offering aviation programs, and contributing to the dissemination and application of knowledge on aviation and other related fields. Most significantly, Madam Sponsor and Madam Speaker, Section 10 of RA 12255 provides that as the National Professional Aviation Institution, the NAAP shall enjoy institutional autonomy pursuant to Paragraph 2, Section 5 of the Article 14 of the Constitution, as well as the responsibility to maintain and enhance its academic aviation standards in the performance of its instruction, extension, and community service. Would the distinguished sponsor, Madam Speaker, comment on this? Because this is beyond renaming. We are not just renaming PhilSCA, but we are giving it institutional autonomy. The very same request of the Polytechnic University of the Philippines to be recognized as the National Polytechnic University. And yet, mas pinaburan po ang PhilSCA kaysa po sa PUP. Again, hindi po natin pinagbabangga ang PUP at PhilSCA. Ang pinupunto po natin, sa parehas na pamantayan na sinukat ang PhilSCA, bakit hindi po dito sinukat din ang Polytechnic University of the Philippines, Madam Sponsor, Madam Speaker?
Yes. The PUP is of a university status and PhilSCA is of a college status. But at any rate, PUP has one main campus which has passed every requirement and everything that needs to be done, along with the 24 campuses that have to measure up to the standards. But the chair of the commission has already spoken with PUP, and they are now mentoring the PUP so that it can now catch up and be leveled at the level you wish it to be.
Thank you, Madam Sponsor, Madam Speaker. Kung Certificate of Program Compliance, almost 98% na po ang COPC ng PUP. Kasama na po ang mga campuses, even ang mga locally funded na LGU campuses ng PUP. Not to mention yung yung performance po ng PUP pagdating po sa mga board examinations at iba pa. Yung evaluation po ng SUC leveling, particular po sa PUP ay 2016 pa nangyari. Since 2016 to present, wala pang evaluation na nagaganap. At questionable po ang SUC leveling dahil hindi akma ang instrumento sa mga malalaking schools, mga unique school like PMMA, PNU at PhilSCA ang instrument. Meron po ba tayo na comment dito, Madam Sponsor, Madam Speaker? And it is a welcome po.
Yes. As we said earlier, Madam Speaker, we acknowledge that these may have been overlooked in the past administration, but under the administration of our new chair, she has started talks with the PUP and will now take time to look into this.
Maraming salamat po, Madam Sponsor, Madam Speaker. Kaya ako po inihahayag dito sa bulwagang ito, Madam Sponsor, Madam Speaker, ang usaping ito dahil uulitin ko po, ang PUP ay may malaking bahagi sa nation building natin. It is home to more than 95,000 poor and working class students. PUP deserves to be classified as the National Polytechnic University. And it is a welcome development coming from the Madam Sponsor na magtutulungan po ang komisyon at ang PUP para maibigay ang pagkilalang ito sa Politeknikong Universidad ng Pilipinas and thus contributing more to nation building, Madam Sponsor, Madam Speaker. With that, wala na pong katanungan ang kinatawang ito. We look forward to working with the CHED family, Madam Sponsor, Madam Speaker, and we hope po yung mga commitments po ng Commission on Higher Education ay agad-agad po na mabibigyang update ang kinatawang ito. With that, Madam Speaker, Madam Sponsor, I yield my time to the floor.
Majority Leader.
We will take note of that and we commit to keep you updated. Thank you.